Now, my honor to introduce our speakers for tonight. Andrew Garcia is a first-generation college graduate and education advocate with over a decade of experience supporting student success through programs like TRIO Upward Bound and Gateway to College. He teaches communication courses at Pueblo Community College and is passionate about expanding AdvanceEDU's impact in Pueblo. Families, please join me in welcoming Andrew Garcia.
Hi, can everybody hear me? Good, awesome. Thank you. I want to thank everybody for being here. I know it's the evening and we all got plans and things going on, so I really appreciate you taking the time out of your day to meet with me. I'm going to share my screen and we'll get started. I promise I won't take up a lot of your time, as it comes natural for me to be a fast talker because I'm an instructor, so I will probably only take up an hour of your time at the most. Let me see. Let me share my screen real quick. Okay. Can everybody see that first slide? Good. Okay. Awesome. So what we'll go over tonight is pretty much just the program. I do have like little things in here, like a quiz, not a quiz, but like a little bit of trivia. What I'm going to do is mix in some college entry stuff, some career prep, as well as advanced EDU, and then leave it open to some questions. When Deborah and I first talked about doing this workshop, we originally talked about having your kids when they graduate college, as a way to pipeline them into college, or once they pass high school, to pipeline them into college. But as we kept speaking and kept talking and having that conversation, we started to realize that you, the parents, are actually even better candidates because if you guys wanted to get enrolled now, you could do that. And so we really looked at helping serve the entire family as opposed to just the kids. So just keep that in mind as you're listening. Think about, well, things that you might be interested in and questions you might have just for yourself and not only your kids. So the agenda, like I said, we'll do introduction. I'll let you know a little bit about me, even though I know Raquel told you a little bit about me. I'll pretty much say the same thing. Um, then we'll go over that college entry and career prep trivia. When we get to the trivia, don't feel that you have to answer. You don't. What I'm expecting is some engagement. I would like for somebody to at least type in the chat, or you can unmute yourself and blurt out an answer. Usually, when I do the trivia, I'm at the high schools and I have like little bags of candy, and students are real eager to answer, but I can't really throw any bags of candy at you right now. So feel free just to answer. And then we'll talk about advanced CDU and how the college entry and career prep, all linked together. And then, like I said, we'll leave it open for some questions. Like I said, my name is Andrew Garcia. I am the Pueblo site director for Advanced EDU. I grew up here in Pueblo. I've been here for about 30 years or so, majority of my life. I got my BA at CSU Pueblo in English with the emphasis in creative writing. I got my master's degree at UCCS in communications. I've worked in education for 10 years. Started off as a sub, worked my way all the way up to advisor. I've held various coaching positions depending on the program I worked in. They're all pretty much success coaches. They just have different titles. I am currently an instructor at PCC as kind of a side gig, and I am the director here at Advanced EDU for Pueblo. So, college entry and career prep trivia. I just want you guys to know that these questions, it's a little bit more of the college entry, and I would say there's like 6 questions on college entry and 4 on prep. And for some of you, you might already know the answers. That's totally fine. If you do not, don't feel bad. It's not a way to shame anyone for not knowing what something means. I didn't know what any of this stuff meant until I was actually working in education for years. I didn't even know when I was going through my bachelor's what a grant was. I had no idea. And I know that sounds stupid, but I had no idea what any of that was or how to even access it. So, if you don't feel ashamed, if you don't know the answer, one of the reasons I always add this trivia and I keep it in here for info sessions like this is just in case you don't want to go with advanced EDU, at least you have some more knowledge under your belt. If you want to go and pursue college on your own, at least this would be a good jumping off point. So, my first question is, and feel free to throw out an answer. Um, okay, move that. Trying to move my faces here. Feel free to answer in the chat, or if you want to unmute yourself, you can blurt out the answer. It's totally fine. First one is, what is the difference between being admitted and being registered at a college? Is it A, being admitted and being registered mean the same thing? B, being admitted means you've been accepted to attend. Being registered means you've signed up for classes. And C, being admitted means you've paid for tuition. Being registered means you've applied for financial aid. Does anybody want to take a hack at it? And Raquel's going to keep an eye on the chat. If anybody wants to throw it in the chat, all you got to do is throw
Yeah,
up a letter.
we've got three letter B's in the chat.
Yes, I like it. That is the correct answer. So there are three different modes. I didn't put all of them in here. Admitted, yes, means you've been accepted. Registered means you're signed up for courses. And the next step would be enrolled. So the difference between being enrolled and registered is enrolled means your classes have actually started and you are in them being actively in the class, being active in the class. The reason that's important is because some classes might be an 8 week start and it starts halfway through the semester. So you technically could be registered for a class and enrolled in other classes. So that's why it's super important to make that distinction. Next one. What is College Opportunity Fund? COF. Is it A, a scholarship that covers all tuition costs for non-Colorado residents? B, a federal grant for students attending private universities in Colorado? Or C, a state-funded stipend that helps eligible Colorado residents pay for part of their college tuition? And anytime you do FAFSA, COF is usually in there.
A couple of C votes in the chat.
Yes, they are correct. So, COF is super important. You are all Colorado residents, so that means you get more money going towards your tuition as opposed to someone who's out of state. So, all of the universities that we partner with are in state, which means you will be COF eligible because you are Colorado residents. What's nice about this being a stipend is it's free money. You don't have to pay it back as opposed to some scholarships you might have to pay back. Stipends, that's free money. So, anytime someone asks you if you want to opt into COF, always say yes because it will not hurt you. It's always going to be free money. And it's gone up. When I was in school, it was going to age me a little bit. When I was in school like 15 years ago, people were getting $300-400 now for it. Now they're getting thousands. So it's definitely a good time to take COF. Where are 95% of scholarships found? A, on a national scholarship website like FastWeb or scholarships.com. B, from the colleges themselves. Or C, through federal government programs like FAFSA. I'm curious to see if anyone knows this one because this one's kind of like if you're in education, you know this. But it's something I want you guys to definitely know.
Okay, less unanimous, but we have a variety of answers. A C, a couple of C's, two C's, and a B. One.
Ooh, whoever got the B? Whoever got the B is correct. So this is a shocker. 95% of scholarships are found at the institution themselves. So that means if you go to PCC's website, if you go to Pikes Peak State College, whatever college you're wanting to go to, they all have scholarship and grant pages. And if you go there, they break them down from department, they break them down from your degrees. They have a bunch of them. They even have general ones where you can sign up for it. You answer some basic questions. Sometimes you have to write an essay, and then it disperses it out to a bunch of different colleges. But the bulk of your scholarships and your grants are going to come from the school itself. Now, if you're looking at FastWeb or scholarships.com, those aren't bad things to go through. However, you do need to be cautious of third parties because not all the time, but sometimes they be scams. But a lot of times the interest rate is super, super high. So if you're first going to school, you want to make sure you're checking those scholarships at the school themselves, which is something we really pride ourselves on is pulling all that money from the school because we know where to find it and we know where to find those third party ones too. But we always pull from the school first. Okay, how many credits minimum do you need to be enrolled in to be eligible for financial aid? Is it A, 1 credit, 1 course, B, 6 credits, approximately 2 courses, or C, 12 credits, approximately 4 courses?
Okay, this is great. We have varied answers again. We have 1B and 3 C's this time.
Gets it again. So, um, yeah, you only have to have 6 credits. Now, the reason it says approximately 2 courses, approximately 4 courses, is it depends on the courses. So you could take science classes that have a lab that are 4 credits, and then you could take two 1 credit courses. The credits are determined by how rigorous the course is. So 1 credit courses are not that rigorous. So Six credits, you could technically take three classes, so that's why I put approximately. But yes, 6 credits by state standards, you only need 6 credits to be eligible for financial aid. However, there's a little caveat to that. Every once in a while, you'll see a scholarship that requires 12 credits, but it's not that common. But yes, 6 credits, which is considered part time. And with advanced EDU, you can be part time. You do not have to be full time, but you at least have to be part time, which means you have to at least be enrolled in 2 courses to be able to come with us. Okay, so this one's a different one, but it's super important. What is satisfactory academic progress? SAP. And no, not the tree sap. A, financial aid requirement that students maintain certain academic standards to keep receiving aid. B, a scholarship program for students with high GPAs. Or C, a registration system used to enroll in classes.
Okay, let's all vote, guys. I have a B, I have an A, I have another A. Okay, a B and a
All
couple A.
right. Good. The couple A's get it. Now, SAP is something that's not discussed with students very often, but is very, very important. If you want to stay in school, there are certain standards that you have to keep in order to keep getting funding. And SAP covers 3 things. It does look at GPA. You have to have, and this is for state standards across the board. You have to have a 2.0 every semester to keep up with those requirements. If you drop below a 2.0, then they start to look into it and see what's going on, and they could revoke your eligibility for financial aid. That's one criteria. The second criteria is what's called the completion rate. You have to complete 67% of your courses every semester. Now, the completion rate and the GPA are different. Now, here's where students get kind of confused sometimes. When a student is in their classes, let's say they enroll in 4 classes, and they're like, "Oh, I'm struggling." They drop out of 2 of them, and they know a lot of students do this. If I drop out or withdraw, it doesn't hurt my GPA. That is true. It doesn't hurt your GPA. However, it does hurt that completion rate because if you go from 100% classes to 50%, you drop when that drop below that 67%. So your GPA may not be affected, but your eligibility for financial aid might be affected because you drop below that 67%. Because even though you didn't pass it or you didn't fail it, you technically didn't complete and pass it. So that's important for students to know that because you can't just blow off stuff semester to semester. There are consequences to that. And then the third one is time frame. They expect people, let's say you're getting your bachelor's degree, you're expected to do it in 6 years. Anything after 6 years, which bachelor's degree takes 4 years. If you start to exceed the 6 years, and I don't mean like 6 years duration, I mean like actual semesters and like how much time you've actually spent in school, not counting breaks. You go past that time limit, then they take your funding away from you. So you always want to make sure that you know that you are meeting those expectations of SAP. So what is the difference between an asynchronous course and a synchronous course? A, there is no difference. B, synchronous is taught virtually. Asynchronous is taught in person. Or C, synchronous is taught virtually at a specific time. Asynchronous is taught fully online.
Okay, here we go. A couple C votes, it looks like.
Okay, yes, and C is the correct answer. Now, this is super important because when you are signing up for classes, depending on your advisor, hopefully the advisors do their due diligence, but students always get confused between synchronous and asynchronous. Synchronous means that, like we're doing right now, got into this group or into this chat at 6 o'clock. It goes from 6 to 8. That's how your class would be if it was synchronous, right? Every Wednesday night at 6 to 8, you're gonna have your class with Mr. Garcia, blah blah. Right now, asynchronous is different. It's just fully online. You don't meet in person. Anytime you need to reach out to the instructor, you can email them. I teach a lot of asynchronous classes online, and the way mine is structured is every class opens up on a Monday and closes on a Sunday, and you do it at your own pace. If you're that person that does everything Sunday night or on the weekend, that's up to you. But asynchronous is the one that's fully online. And a lot of students always tell me the way they remember it is synchronous means same time. So you have to be on at the same time, or everyone has their acronyms that they use. But so synchronous is actual virtual. Now with AdvanceEDU, we partner with schools. Some classes are synchronous and some are asynchronous. And so you got to make sure you know the difference when you're signing up, because what happens is a lot of students think they're signing up for fully online, and they actually have times where they have to meet online with the instructor, like for the actual class, and they miss those times all the time, and that counts as their attendance, and it counts against them, so they can be dropped for it. So it's super important to know the difference. Okay, so this is more switching to the career side. What is LinkedIn? Is it A, a college application portal for high school seniors, B, a job search website used only by employers, or C, a professional networking platform where people connect, share career updates, and explore job opportunities?
Okay. C's and a B.
Awesome. Yes, it is C. So LinkedIn is kind of like Facebook for professionals. Now, what we do at AdvanceEDU is we make sure if you don't already have one, we get you set up with LinkedIn. And important about this is it just isn't just for professionals, but it's professionals and getting you in that industry and connected with people in the same industry that you're in. So, for example, my LinkedIn is connected to a bunch of partners that I have, but also a lot of educators and people in education. So, depending on whatever industry you want to go into, LinkedIn is really going to be catered to that. So, it's not more of a general approach; it's definitely narrowed scope in determining what industry you want to go into. So, with that being said, what does the term networking mean? Is it A, building relationships with people who can support your academic, career, and professional goals? B, attending parties and social events with friends? Or C, using social media to follow celebrities and influencers?
Everybody seems confident with A on this one.
A. Good. Now, my high schoolers, they never know. They're like, "Oh, it's going to parties, right?" So, no, it's. I mean, you can, I guess, technically network if you go to a party, depending on who's there and who you're networking with, or I don't know how effective that'll be. But yes, networking, getting to know people, and now in a digital age, I mean, things like LinkedIn really help because you can connect with people across the world, across the United States, that will help propel your career. So, part of networking in AdvanceEDU is we help you network. We help you navigate those waters. How do you find the people you need to network with, and how you be professional in those settings? Okay, what is a transferable skill? A skill learn a skill you learn in college that can't be used anywhere else. B, a skill that can be applied across different jobs, industries, or life situations. C, a skill that only applies to one specific job or industry.
Okay, a couple of B votes for this one.
Okay. So you might be wondering, like, why is he asking me this? This is super important when it comes to your resume. So a lot of you made resumes before. You might have written strong written and verbal communication skills. That is a transferable skill, right? Because that's something, no matter what industry you're in, you are going to be communicating with somebody. At Advanced EDU, we help you build on these skills, and we help you find ways to get that out on your resume. So we have a lot of skill sets that we don't necessarily promote because we just it's kind of natural to us. But those are some of the things that we want you guys to bring to the forefront. All right, last question. Then I'll stop asking you guys questions. All right, what should be the first thing you do when preparing for a job interview? A, practice answering questions. B, research the company and the role you're applying for. Or C, pick out the outfit you'll wear to the interview.
C is also really important, but everybody's voting for B.
Yes, so my high schoolers always say C, and they argue with me about it. But they all are important because how you dress also helps. I mean, there's psychology behind giving speeches, and how you dress actually helps you prepare for that. Also, practicing answering questions. But yes, definitely researching the company and your role. It helps you get an idea of the climate of the culture there, what they're expecting. It helps you find out like what questions you're going to ask because you can say, I mean, instead of saying which you should never say, is how much does this job pay, or when's the start date? It's usually a safe one, but it'll help you generate better questions. Like what do you see being the challenges in the first 6 months of my role as blah blah blah, right? And you kind of know the answer. It's definitely rhetorical, so that's definitely the first thing you should do. Okay, so we are done with the set of questions. Please feel free. So Like I said, I am a fast talker and I do this for a living and I get real excited. So if I talk too quick, if I'm going over something too fast, or I'm just being generally confusing, please feel free to stop me. You can interrupt me, you can throw something in the chat and I will reiterate it or go back and talk about it more thoroughly. Okay, so about AdvanceEDU, we are a nonprofit. We are pretty young. We were founded in 2020, based in Denver, Colorado during the pandemic. And really, the goal was to help students coming out of high school, going into college, and helping them navigate the waters. And what we've noticed over the years, it's actually been non-traditional students. Students, the working learners, students who have families, they have kids, they have jobs, and they don't have time to go to classes, and so to go to physical classes. So we really kind of had to switch gears and cater to that demographic of student as well. And that's actually the majority of our students are non-traditional students. And then when just this past June, we expanded into Pueblo. And that's when I started, was about in June. So we've been here for about 5 months. And that building right there is our Denver location. So it is important to keep in mind that we are not an institution ourselves. We are partnered with institutions. So I always tell people when they're asking, well, what school are you from? I say, well, we're from like 5 schools. So we partner with a bunch of them. They're all accredited. Some are 2 year, some are 4 year. Right now, we're currently partnered with CSU Global and Community College of Aurora in Denver. In Colorado Springs, we are partnered with Pikes Peak State College. We just took them on. And the Colorado Community College system, there's like 13 community colleges in that system, like PCC, Community College of Aurora is in that system. So we work with the system as well. But coming soon, we are going to be partnering with Pueblo Community College and CSU Pueblo. Now, what this means is it opens up different programs and different degrees that you guys can go through these schools. So when you sign up with us, depending on your degree, we will help you sign up for one of these colleges, and that's how it kind of all starts. Now, some of these have the same degrees, so at that point, you can kind of pick and choose which one you want to go through, but those are the ones we partner with. Now, our partnerships look different. So that was the institutional partnership. We also have community employer and school partnerships. So our community partners are like Parents Challenge, right? It's another org, or it could be a business in the community that serves a certain clientele that can partner with us, and they can send their clients to us to go through school. They I mean, references kind of go back and forth all the time. I have another partner with DVR, that's the Department of Vocational Rehabilitation. They help people with disabilities navigate life, and we partner with them. And sometimes our students who have disabilities, and it's disabilities you can be born with, and disabilities you end up having later on. We have one guy who was a firefighter, and he lost his sense of smell, so he lost his job because he couldn't smell smoke. He couldn't walk in if there was gas. He couldn't smell the gas. Of course, he could see the smoke, but you can't see the gas. So he lost his job, and he had that career for, I think he said like 15, 20 years. So he came to us, and we got him hooked up with DVR. They're helping him navigate that disability, and we're helping him get a new degree. So that's kind of how those communities work. The partners, we kind of just help each other back and forth. Employer partners. This is a big part of what my job is. My job is not to just try to recruit students like you to come and go into our program. But on the back end, it's my job to get partnerships. So when you graduate, you'll have doors open for you already. And I'll get to that later about the career aspect. But for example, we have students who are behavioral health is one of our biggest degrees across all the colleges we work with. And so one of the first partnerships I got down here in Pueblo was with Health Solutions because they're one of the biggest behavioral health organizations around here, and my partnership with them is directly through HR. So when our behavioral health students graduate, that door right there is open for them. I literally send off a list of any students that want to work there. I send it to their HR department, and of course, it's not a guarantee, but it's pretty damn close. I mean, it's a lot better than having to go out and try to navigate the waters on your own. We have a lot of doors open for you already, and that's for all the industries that we cover for degrees. We always want to make sure as many doors as possible open for you, but we also hope to try to get you into that industry. We don't just shove you out the door and say, good luck, go talk to our partners. We actually open those doors and start the communication lines of communication for you. School partnerships. We do partner with the schools. I don't mean just the colleges, but local high schools as well. We are partnered with Goal Academy, Hope, and a lot of the D60 schools. So, like here in Pueblo, We are partnered with East, Central, and South, and so they let us come in all the time and talk to their students and start to pipeline them, get them ready, so we can start looking at their stuff when they graduate. So the pathways. This is super important because we chose these pathways for a specific reason. So unfortunately, you can't just pick to come with us at any degree because we don't cover just any degree. However, we do cover business, healthcare leadership, technology, and the public sector. We chose these four pathways because they are shown to send students into the industry by getting paid more. They're like the degrees that pay out better. So business, a lot of times we see entrepreneurs, business owners. Healthcare leadership is a lot of it's not nursing, but it's more of the admin part, and that's where our behavioral health comes in. And there's a lot of stuff that goes underneath it, and I'll show you. I'll break it down for you. And then technology, it's a lot of IT, cybersecurity, computer maintenance, and then public sector is like your teaching, criminology, and like social work. So a lot of pathways that not only pay well but are also in high demand. Like we need teachers super super bad. So business. This is a breakdown of what we do right now with our partners. Now, like I said, this will expand once we get PCC and CSUP on board. All these degrees start to blow up a little bit more, which means there'll be more options. But I like to show students this because we do what we call stacking degrees. And as you can see in the yellow where it says cert, you can start off by getting a certification and stack that. Get a bachelor's and stack that on top of your certification, and your financial aid still covers it. So, for example, I do have a student. He's here in Pueblo, but he's going to CSU Global in Denver, fully online though, so he's still here located here in Pueblo. He started out getting a digital marketing certificate. It took him 9 months. Our career coach got him an entry level job doing digital marketing while he's still earning his business management 4 year. So he's actually in the industry working while he's still working on his education. And that's our goal. Our career coach, her main priority is to try to get you at least an internship, an apprenticeship, something before you even graduate so you can get in that industry and start doing what you need to do right away. Same thing for technology. There's a lot of certs when we open up uh, our partnership with PCC. They have a lot more bachelors. They have a bachelor's degree for cybersecurity, so a lot more stuff will open up with that. But they also have a lot of minis or a lot of certs like this as well. I do have another guy who does computer programming because it's something he's interested in, but he is going through cybersecurity, so you can kind of mix and match as you go. Healthcare leadership, which is probably our most popular one. This one's really nice because it's one of the only ones right now where you can stack a cert, an associate's, and a bachelor's degree. And a lot of our students do the behavioral health assistant too, because that gets their foot in the door. Then they jump over to the associate's degree and get the mental health and social work, and then they jump into the healthcare administration and management. It doesn't add any extra time. It's the same amount of time you'd be there for a bachelor's degree, but you're stacking all these degrees and certificates underneath. And then the public sector right now, it's all bachelor's degrees. The ones that are popular in this category are human services, which is social work. I've never heard it called human services, but it's social work. But that's the same thing. Criminal justice, it's law and forensics. So you could do the law side or the forensic side. And then, of course, the bachelor's degree enrolling in a teacher program. So we partner with PEBC, and I always forget what the acronym. It's like Public Educational Business Coalition, I think is what it's called. And what it is you get a degree in any degree that you want. It doesn't matter what it's in. And then after you get your bachelor's degree, you enroll with them. They're an alternative licensing program. So you don't, if you're like me and you're just terrible at tests, you can go through this because I would never pass the state test to teach, even though I teach for the state. Um, but if you go through PEBC, it's an alternative one. So they'll help you, they'll train you and all that stuff. So coming to AdvanceEDU, you have a team of people. You have tons of people on your team. However, there are three main coaches that you work with. A success coach, and I'm sorry, I just now saw that typo, and that's going to bug the crap out of me on success coach. But success coach, financial aid coach, and career coach. A success coach will help you with everything from academics to resources and specialized one-on-one meetings. Now, when it comes to academics, and we'll get to this a little bit further once we move on with the slides, but they're going to help you navigate the LMS. The LMS is the learning system that the colleges use. what houses all of your homework, your assignments, everything. They're going to help you navigate that. So if you're like, hey, I don't know where to submit this discussion, they'll hop on there with you and show you how to do all that. Even though we'll prep you before, like you'll see all this stuff before you go into college, but they'll help you with that. Or though if you have like a lot of times what the success coaches see is like the school sends you something like, hey, we need some documentation before we can let you do this or whatever. We need this or that. They'll help you get that documentation. On top of it, they are resource support. So we have emergency funds whenever we have students who are struggling financially or they need a place to live. We have a ton of resources under our belt and we have funding that goes into that. So we can help you guys with whatever you need, even outside of your academic support. And then specialized one-on-one meetings. If when you first start out, you'll meet with them once a week. If you're doing good, you don't really need as much support. They back off a little bit, but we are definitely high touch. We always want to make sure you're doing okay. If we see you're falling behind on grades, we know we're like, hey, what's going on? Do you need help getting something submitted? Do you need some tutoring? What do you need? And we are real quick to get on it, and that's why we have really high retention rates. So we very rarely lose students, and part of that is because we let students pause out, which means if you want to take a semester to get a breather, you can do that. You won't technically drop out of the school. You'll go on pause, and then you'll come back a semester, and that's really helped our students um, stop from like keep from dropping out. Now, your financial aid coach, they're going to help you get grants. They're going to help you get scholarships. Um, it's another typo. It's like really bugging me. External scholarships and AdvanceEDU scholarships. So our financial aid coach doesn't just say, "Hey, here's the financial aid page. Fill this all out and let me know. Get back to me, and we'll see what you get." They're going to run through when you go through our application process. You're going to fill out your thing that talks about your background, your work history, and your school history. And with all of that, then you'll fill out your financial aid. But with all that, we'll be able to pull what grants and scholarships you qualify for, and we'll help you fill them out. And you can get external, so you'll get the grants and scholarships from the government if you qualify, the institutional scholarships like we talked about at the schools, the external scholarships if there's any that you are eligible for, and then advanced EDU scholarships. We will pay last dime up to a certain amount. Most of our students, if it's like $1,000 or whatever, and everyone's different, we will pay the last dollar to make sure you're covered. So 90% of our students pay little to nothing. So that's all the way from a certificate to a bachelor's degree. 90% hardly pay anything or nothing at all. And that's a number we're very proud of because we've held on to that 90% for a long time. And then your career coach. So this is the other big pillar. You have your academic pillar, and then there's a career pillar. And they work side by side. And I'll show you kind of how that works as well. But your career coach, now these are all three separate people. Your career coach will help prep you. They'll get to know you, what career you're wanting to go into. And she starts working on the back end while you're going through your schooling. She's going to start building up people in your network. She's going to start looking and doing her research on what needs to get done, what you need to get prepared, and how you're going to get there. We look at employer partner referrals. So, like uh, health solutions. If they have people, they send people over. Or if we know, like, let's say one of you wants to get into behavioral health, then right away we're going to start talking to that partner saying, hey, do you guys have any openings? What are you looking for? Blah, blah, blah. We got people coming down the pipeline. And we start to get those cogs moving right away. And then you'll get individually tailored career coaching depending on the career and the profession you're going into. Our coach preps you for that. They prep you with like the jargon, the expectations, how to get there, what the pay is going to be, like, are you going to have to relocate or is there anything local? And then experiential learning opportunities, which is like your apprenticeships, your mentorships. Usually is what we go for, but if we can get you entry level job, that's our ultimate goal. Okay, so this is kind of what the student journey looks like. And this is from all the way from right now to you getting into college. Start off with an interest form, and I have it at the very end. So if you are interested, you can always scan our QR code. If not, the Parents Challenge staff has my information, so they can always send it to you. You'll fill out the interest form. It puts you in our system. It automatically will kick the application to you, the three-part application, and it'll kick you a link for an info session which is kind of what you're doing now, but they're going to go much more in depth about like what the next steps are for you, and that info session will lead to a career explorer track. So once you're done with your info session, career explorer kicks in, and that's for students who don't know what they want to do. And for career explorer, and I'll go through that a little bit more. They're going to help you figure out what you want to do, which degree path, and then you'll move on from there. Now, kickoff meetings, there are two kickoff meetings. The first one, they're going to talk to you about gathering all the information. You need this document, you need that document. This is a group meeting you'll go into. And they'll say, these are all the things you need to get together for our next meeting. The second kickoff meeting is going to be a one on one with all of your documents that you're supposed to bring and have collected and ready to go. Because the next thing you're going to do is submit for admission to the college that you want to go to. Once you submit and you get accepted into the college, you go through seminar. Seminar is still an advanced EDU thing. It's not a college thing yet. Seminar is 3 weeks. It's all online and it's to help you get an idea of what college is like. And so they're gonna everything is mimicking the college life. So it's gonna be an LMS system, the learning system like the colleges have, and you're actually gonna submit stuff for advanced EDU like you would for college. It'll be discussions, some assignments, but it's to help prepare you. So when you get into those college classes, you're like, oh, it's the same stuff I did with Advanced EDU. It's kind of like a warm up going into it. So it is required though. You have to do it, and but you can go at your own pace if you want to do it quicker. Some people do it quicker than others, but it takes 3 weeks, and then right after that, once you complete it, you'll be enrolled into the college. And so we that's why right now is a good time. And Deborah and I had talked about meeting sooner than later. So if you guys are interested, you can get signed up now, and you'll be ready for spring if you decide you want to go to college in spring. But I know that sounds like a lot and it sounds like a very tedious process. It is, but it's super necessary because we need to collect as much data about you as possible in order to get as much financial aid about you. That's how we dig up all that money is just to get to know you as well as possible and know where you come from and know what you're going through and that's how we can dig it up. And I always tell students, like, I know it seems like a lot, and as you're going through it, and it's usually my teenagers, my high schoolers, like, oh, it's a lot, and I'm not even in school yet. But I always tell them, think about this. This is what you got to go through to get it paid for. It's not that bad. Just go through it, and on back end, trust me, it'll be worth it. So that's kind of the student journey from now to you're gonna get to into college. The career exploration track. So we'll jump back a little bit. If you are undecided, you don't know which way you want to go, you'll kind of deviate a little bit, go through the Explorer track, and then you'll hop back on. When you're in Explorer track, you'll complete some assessments. This is a separate coach from all the three that I told you about. I don't know what it's not. He's not a coach. So there's a different title, but he's going to go through these assessments with you. You're going to take these assessments. He's going to talk it over with you and say, "Hey, based off the stuff that the way you answered, these are kind of some of the opportunities that we have around here. Here's some of the partnerships that we have. Is it something you might be interested in?" Then we start to talk to the coach, talking about how that's going to look, and then you start participating in some workshops and seminars. This only can take like a week. This is also self-paced. If you want to knock it out in a couple days, you can knock it out in a couple days. But it's just really to help you kind of flesh out what you're interested in, and even if it's something that we don't cover, at least then you know that's what you want to do. But we'll talk about the things that we do cover, and if anything strikes your interest, then you can go from there. Seminar. So this is the 3 week seminar. Like I said, you'll do, I kind of cover this, but you'll do like the weekly assignments, the tasks. You'll go through coaching. You're going to get to know your success coaches really well during this time because they're going to help you navigate through all of this. And then, but it's really just to help get you coordinated and kind of get you understanding the expectations. And then you'll meet with um, your career coach as well. You get introduced to them and the services that they offer, and then also they're gonna they're gonna discuss about building the community. Even though you're all online, we want you guys to get to know each other. We break you up into cohorts. So I think right now we're like on cohort 41 or 42, and that the cohort is just when you come in. What group are you coming in with? And we just really want you guys to kind of be a team, be a unit, because we also have events for you guys, like actual in-person events that you can come to. We'll make sure it's always catered, there'll always be food there, games you can bring your family and stuff like that. The point is because you guys are online, we still want you to feel connected and feel like you're part of something. And it's not just online, you're not alone. On top of that, when you do get accepted and you're official, you'll get a care package sent to you. And they're always changing what it is. I always forget, but like I know you'll get a water bottle, like a cool little lunchbox. You'll get a T-shirt. I mean, like a whole big old bag of swag. So that'll be sent your way as well. College and Career Accelerator. So we call ourselves an accelerator because our students graduate 3 times faster than the national average, and this is done in a bunch of different ways. The colleges that we partner with They break their semesters up into trimesters or semesters, depending on which college you decide to go to. CSU Global has the trimesters, which means you can just get more courses in because they're doing three instead of two. And then, of course, there's semester based stuff, which even the ones that do semester based, you can still do a summer course if you want to. CSU Global does all 8-week courses. So that really fast tracks our students. I have students who are getting their bachelor's degree and they're doing it in 3 years. And that's even with stacking those certs and those the associates in there. Or you can do 16 weeks. It just depends on the course and how it's offered, and of course the institution. There are you can transfer previous college credits. We will help you do that, including anything that you've accrued concurrent enrollment, which is if you're in high school, when you're in high school, if you got college credits while you're in high school. Sophia learning courses. This is a big one that's super popular with CSU Global, and I'm pretty sure Pikes Peak State College is the other one that does it. It's very similar to if your students have ever, or if your kids have ever done credit recovery. It's like that. So it's um, assessment based, and all you do really is just go through like this little modified course that's super short. And if you already know everything, you can skip. I mean, you can skip through it. So I have a student. She just did it this semester. I think she did it in August or September. September. She passed, and they count as college credits, 3 college credits, and they're cheaper. But she passed 4 college credits, the Sophia Learning College credits. She passed 4 of them in 1 week. And those 4 classes, that's 12 credits. That's a whole semester she passed in 1 week. And that's insane. It's amazing how fast she did it. Now they're all mainly gen ed courses because they would never do that with the more uh, specified courses, but they're all gen eds. But it still fast tracks our students to graduate a lot earlier, and it's a lot less hectic. And then any credit or life experiences. Some of the schools will let us use life experiences, or depending on where you worked, and count credits towards it. It just depends on the institution. So moving to the career component, um, the way she has structured it, she wants it to align with your academics at the same time. So if you look over here and see the 0, 0, and then 660, 660, those are credits. So when you're at 0 credits, right at the beginning, you're gonna do an introduction meeting and you're going to do your career plan development. So it means you're going to get to meet your coach and you're going to discuss what you want to do and how she's going to get you there. Then you'll move on to your resume. The 6 means if you're going for an associate's, once you hit 6 credits, that's when you have that discussion. If you're going for your bachelor's, 60 credits is when you have this resume discussion, and the same thing in for your LinkedIn profile. Now, with the resume, she's going to look at what you already have, or she's going to build one with you. Our career coach doesn't she doesn't just come from education. She comes from the career coaching world. Like she's done this for a long time. She built this whole program herself. How she does this stuff. Then once you reach 12 credits in the associates or 91 credits in your bachelor's degree, you'll start to do interview prep skills and she'll start run those down with you. We'll do mock interviews with you, whatever you need to do. If you want to do them in person, you can always come in person. If you want to do them online, you can do that as well. But we start to prep you and get you, I mean, the more you practice, the more organic it starts to feel when you're interviewing. And then again, at 12 credits for associates, 91 at the bachelor's degree level, you'll start working on your networking skills and getting used to using that LinkedIn profile and talking to people in your industry. Then once you're about to graduate, 18 credits at the associates, or 120 at the bachelor's level, you'll do a two-on-one coaching. And the two-on-one coaching is your success coach and your career coach are both going to talk to you as you're about to exit. And they're going to start talking about where they're going to send you, what they're going to do, how they're going to prepare you. This is super important because this is them getting you into that industry. So it's a good thing. That's a really exciting moment. We always get excited about that. Other things that we include is key career support. We do workshops. So for example, here in Pueblo, we do a bunch of different workshops, and I try to change them up. I'd like to do public speaking, and I know everybody hates public speaking, but the better you get at it, the better, the more effective you are. I mean, you can go into a room and own that room because you can. I mean, it helps build leadership skills. So we do a lot of different workshops. With our workshops, now this is something to keep in mind. They're not mandatory, but you are required to do so many of them. And I want to say I think we said 3 a year, so it's not that bad. There's not a lot, but we will badge you. So what LinkedIn does too is you can get badges. So when you complete things, and colleges do this too, when you complete something, the an organization or a school can put a badge on there saying like you're technically kind of like certified in this. So if you do public speaking with me and you do a great job or you excel or whatever criteria we give you, I can put on there that you got a public speaking badge and you're proficient in public speaking. And those are things you put on your resume and put on your LinkedIn profile. These are things that you can tack onto that. Employer partnership referrals. That's when we're going to start reaching out to employers, seeing if they have any openings, anything like that. And of course, like I said, the experiential learning opportunities. That's your mentorships, apprenticeships, and then the individually tailored career coaching, like I said before. All of this is running at the same time your academics are. She calls them milestones. And so those credits, once you hit those milestones, that's when you start working on things. So that way you're not overwhelmed, just kind of chipping away at it. Okay, so I always like to end with the benefits. With AdvanceEDU, you have that flexible schedule because it's completely online. If there are courses you want to do in person, you are free to do that. But most of our stuff's online because we've noticed our students working all the time or have kids or both, just all obligations in life. Online is really what our students are looking for. The personalized coaching and all the different aspects that we have, helping explore your career, helping navigate and get into that industry and connecting with jobs, getting you the financial aid that you need to get to do all of this, all while you're working from home. Access to tech. If you need a laptop, we will give you one for the duration that you're with us. So if you're with us for 4 years, we will give you a laptop for 4 years. You just got to sign it out. We do have them marked, so I mean, so you just have to take care of them. Like we do charge a fee if you break them more than once. But very rarely happens. But if stuff happens, we all have kids and animals that get to stuff. But we will give you a laptop, and it's brand new. We don't. I mean, sometimes I think I have like three sitting in my office. Sometimes if we're low on them, we just clean them out and hand them back out. But you'll get a laptop. Fun events and building community. Like I said, we do put on events. We try to put on one every month. It just depends on how busy we get. I'm the only one here in Pueblo. I do have one success coach, but he's only with me one day of the week. So it depends on how many we can put together. But we try to do it once a month so you guys can come out and bring the family, play games. We try to do it in different places. Sometimes we'll go to the park, or sometimes we'll take students to like trampoline park or whatever. We'll do something different every time. But you're not required to do that. That's just for you guys if you want it. And then a drop-in learning center. So if you are closer to Denver, if you're in Springs and you're closer to the Denver area and you want to go up to Denver, you can. If you want to come into Pueblo, I know it might be kind of a drive, but if you are in Pueblo, our location is at the old Wells Fargo building. You can come in. I'm an instructor, so if you need tutoring, I can't help you with math. If you have trouble with math, I will set you back. So don't even ask me about that. But I do know people. I can get you a tutor. But for English, anything else, if it's writing papers, I've done that for a long time and I'm damn good at it. So come see me. I can help you write papers. I can help you do all that stuff. If you want to do it virtual, let me know. I can help you write them, and we can look at outlines. I'll help you with all that stuff. But we do have a physical presence. We won't want you guys to feel alone, like you have to do it from home all the time. I have some students that'll come in my office and just because they needed to get out of the house, they needed a quiet space, they'll come work with me, and we'll get stuff done. So you do have that option. We also have mental health support services. So if you do need any help, if you're just struggling, let us know. We're very discreet about it. We do have services that we reach out to, and we make sure they're free to you, or we'll cover the cost if your insurance doesn't cover it. The reason I put these two down at the bottom is because these are the things I try to emphasize the most. We are tight knit. And there's another typo that's going to piss me off all the time. Everything you get is tailored to you. There is no cookie cutter formula um, to work with you guys. Everybody gets something special or individualized for you and catered to what you want. And on top of that, we are faster than anybody else, and we take you straight down your career path. So that's to me, those are the biggest um, sellers that I always want to push forward when students ask how are you different from just going straight to the school. So that is all I have for you. I'll finally take a breath and breathe. Here's all my information. That is my phone number. Feel free to jot that down. That is my email address. Also, you can ask the staff. They have all my information. The website is on there. That QR code will take you to the interest form and get you started. All you have to do is fill it out, and the rest is automated. It'll be kicked to you. Does anybody have any questions or concerns? And feel free, you can
This
chat
is,
it or you can
oh,
unmute yourself.
sorry. My name's Eliza Love, and my phone's almost about to die. I'm so sorry, but I just wanted to ask for your
That's
advice
okay.
real quick. Um, so I'm a teacher at middle school, and then I'm a college professor, just adjunct with Grand Canyon University. But I'm struggling to
Mhm.
help my 21-year-old. He's ready now to get into college. He didn't want to when he wasn't sure what path he wanted to take. He didn't want to take on a bunch of student loans, unnecessarily. And so,
Mhm.
is he
Yeah.
too old to work with you guys, or he can reach out?
Oh, I'm so glad you asked that question because that is one I get asked all the time, and that's a good question. There is no, I mean, okay, technically there is an age limit, um, but it's not based because of your age. This is the easiest way to look at it. As long as the student already has their high school diploma or GED and doesn't already have a master's or a bachelor's degree, we don't do second bachelor's and we don't do
Right.
masters. It's more of just a where he's at in his education. So he's a perfect candidate.
Excellent. No, that's great. Yeah, he's interested in some certifications, and I'm trying to get him to go at least the route of the associates, yada yada, versus
Mhm.
just certifications to have access to more scholarships and funding and stuff. So that I'm going to just let him talk to you all directly, because he really listens to me very well, but he will do better, with working you guys directly. I cannot thank you enough for what you do. I know Widefield District 3 would be super interested to have you. And then if you guys are interested in making, networking or partnerships with Grand Canyon University, I know they would be very interested as well.
Yes, that would be great. Please reach out to me because we are trying to expand into the Springs. The the terrible part is I'm from Pueblo and all of our Denver people are from Denver, so we don't have anybody in Springs other than now Parents Challenge. That's the only connection we have out there. So we would love to talk to the high schools. We'll go out there and do these workshops and talk to students. We try to refrain from doing lunch visits because most of the seniors leave anyways, but we do this exact workshop I do at the schools. So yeah, if you want to talk to anybody and then get back to me or someone in Denver, it'd probably be me because I'm a little bit closer. But yeah, definitely let me know.
Okay, we have a question in the
And the
chat.
institutions, it does take a long time to we.
I'm so sorry. Go ahead.
Okay, what was the question?
So the question in the chat is
Oh no,
just
you're
any
okay. I was just talking about the institutions. Yeah.
sure, any connections to beauty colleges or beauty schools, or will you be adding those at any point?
Okay, so I haven't answered that. You might not like it, but so we do partner with PCC, and they do have cosmetology. We don't partner in those degrees yet because they are all in person, and we all because they have to do their I guess they would call them clinicals. They have to be in person for that. However, I always tell students if you are going to do that, and at some point you want to open up your own, and at PCC they actually structure their cosmetology program very similar to business. They have like entrepreneurial classes and stuff like that. So no on that part, but if you are interested in getting your business degree, let me know. We can do that. I wish we could do all the degrees because, like, I tell my students, I tell all my students yes, just come at least hear us out. And my bosses always get mad. They're all stop telling everybody yes. So, like, I just want to take everybody. But yeah, that's the best answer I could give you.
It would be hard to learn how to do hair online.
Yes.
Tricky.
Well, and what's crazy is nursing. PCC has nursing completely online, and I don't know how they're doing it because I know they have clinicals. I think the way they get around that is their online is only from the RN to the BSN, so I think they're doing all their clinicals before that. And so by the time they get to us with their RN to BSN, then it's online. So yeah, we're expanding. And to answer the question about or to add on to what I was saying about the institutions, we're kind of at a standstill of do we want to go get more institutions, or do we want to stay at the institutions we're at and open up more degrees, which hopefully would have in-person options like cosmetology, barbery, and all that stuff. So we're just at a crossroads with that. We're just not there yet.
Hey, are there any other questions? You can unmute and ask your question or pop it in the chat.
Really good questions.
Hi, I had a question in regard to, I know that you're working, this is Deborah. I know you're working on
Hey, Deborah.
PPC. Are you going to do any more programs with Pikes Peak State College?
Yes, actually, that just came up today. So right now, Pikes Peak State College is just behavioral health. However, they just did that for a trial run because they wanted to see how we operate and how successful it'll be. However, somebody I saw in one of our group chats at work today, someone said, "Are we recruiting for anything other than behavioral health?" And they said yes, but there was a caveat to it. So we are going to have a meeting on that. So my answer to that, Deborah, would be yes, but I can't tell you how far that extends because it depends on our MOU with them, our contract with them on what they'll allow us to do. Now, what I can tell you is Pikes Peak State College is ecstatic about having us, so I don't see them saying no to a lot of stuff. But right now, it's more about what we can handle on our end with capacity because the more degrees we open up, the more success coaches we have to hire. And it just depends on if we can keep up with all that. Because now that we're partnering with Pikes Peak and PCC, launching both of those almost at the same time, it's really taken a hit to our team with manpower and how much we can actually handle right now. But that is the goal to open up more degrees with our institutions. And you don't have to be located. So, like, if you are interested in something and the college isn't even in your town, that's the whole point. If you want to go to CSU Global, do something different. If you're in Springs and you want to do something that's here at PCC, you can do it online. If you are in person and you want to go to Springs, you can do it in person. We just cater more to online. But you would have to be close to the campus in order to go there, which is not, unheard of. That's pretty common, but we do cater more to the online. So I hope I answered your question, Deborah. I don't have a specific answer because we're not there
Yes,
yet. We haven't
you did.
launched. Yeah, okay, thank you. Yeah, we start with them technically in January, but we're recruiting right now. We have staff at PPSC right now. If you ever do want to talk to them at PPSC, go. I can't remember where it's at. I know it's like downtown. It's not the campus over by Academy. It's the behavioral health one that's further in town. Our staff is there on Wednesdays. If you guys ever want to go in person and talk with them.
So there's another question in the chat. Jennifer, I wonder if you want to just unmute and ask this question because I don't want to butcher it for you. Do you want to just ask it yourself? No, you don't want to. It looks like she got a scholarship when she was in high school, but she's 37 now, and she's wondering if you guys could help her find that, or if there would be a way to connect her back to that money that she was awarded.
And so it wouldn't be that scholarship specifically. What we would do if you came with us, we would get you new scholarships based off of a myriad of reasons, a myriad of things. So it wouldn't be that exact scholarship because usually once it's awarded for that semester, and then of course you have to reapply every academic year. So it wouldn't be that one specifically, but I mean, if you came with us, we would probably help you find more than what you probably got before. That would be our goal. It wouldn't be that exact scholarship.
But other better scholarships.
Yes, other
Love it.
better ones,
Okay.
more updated, more money.
More money. Right, exactly. Okay. Any other questions, guys? All right. Well, this was super informative. I'm going to go ahead and stop our recording right here.